Thank you everybody for joining today's webinar. Thanks for taking out the time to come here today and join us. Uh, as you know, today we have a webinar by ReleaseOwl that focuses on the topic of DevOps for SAP S/4HANA, public cloud with Cloud ALM and ReleaseOwl. And we have our speakers for today. Funny Arava and Rahul Pipala. So Funny is the CEO of SAT Infotech, who we are doing this webinar in collaboration with. He is a seasoned SAP solutions specialist with over 20 years of experience in enterprise, IT, and digital transformation. He is recognized for leading successful SAP S/4HANA cloud implementations and driving innovation through clean core architecture and rapid cloud adoption. And Rahul is a solution architect at ReleaseOwl. He has a flair for pre-sales, and in addition to having a rich understanding of SAP, he's also skilled at developing solutions as well as organizing, planning, creating, and delivering compelling proof of concept demonstrations. So just to give you a gist of the agenda that we have for the next 60 minutes of your time with us today, we do have the introductions of our speakers. Thank you, Funny and Rahul, for joining us today for this webinar. We will get into SAP Public Cloud Essentials with SAT Infotech that Funny will run us through. And then we will get into DevOps with Cloud ALM and ReleaseOwl. Then Rahul will give us a live demo of how this works. And then we will move into the ROI, next steps, and the Q&A session where all of you will have the opportunity to ask any questions that you have for our speakers here today. So with that, Funny, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Good morning, everyone, and good evening to folks who are joining from other places. Yeah, my name is Funny, and I represent SAT Infotech. SAT Infotech is an SAP boutique partner. We have been running the show from about 20 years now. We are an SAP Grow with SAP partner, which is basically what you can it is a special tag given to partners who specialize in S/4HANA public cloud. We have been running SAT Infotech, and we have seen the different phases of SAP. We have started with SAP ECC 6.0 implementations. Then we looked into SAP S/4HANA on-prem systems. And then now eventually we are looking into S/4HANA public cloud and private cloud. What we specialize in is mostly into the integrations and extensions of SAP. We focus on different kind of extensions, and not only just from an integrations perspective. We focus more on the cloud deployments, cloud setups. So that is what we do. From an SAP partners, again, partnership, we are both a resale partner and a build partner. We are also having special tagging when it comes to public cloud. We are right now in the advanced mode when we should be moving to export mode pretty soon. That's what overall we are. And I mean, if someone is looking for more discussions on public cloud, I should be able to help those out. Yeah. Yeah. That's what, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you, Funny. Thanks for your brief introduction and being our co-host here in the webinar. So, coming to myself, I am Rahul, and I am a solution architect at ReleaseOwl and takes care of pre-sales at ReleaseOwl. So, coming to the ReleaseOwl, what we are. So ReleaseOwl is our first native DevOps platform that we have built specifically for SAP. So, what it means is whether you are running your ECC or your S/4HANA, or building in SAP BTP solutions, or managing integration suites, or working with SAP Analytics. So ReleaseOwl is something where you can uh, bring all your DevOps for different SAP landscape in one particular solution. So we are certified and available on SAP stores, which ensures your trust and compatibility. So the platform itself is an completely no-code solution and designed to be scalable and enterprise ready. So from the compliance point of view, we are certified by ISO 27701 and fully aligned with the GDPR and GXP requirement. So security and governance comes in from the day one. So that's a quick introduction from ReleaseOwl, but now let me give you a quick snapshot of our core capabilities that we have. So here we have kept it high level view of ReleaseOwl, the capabilities. We have intentionally kept it because as a quick snapshot, the idea isn't to go through the entire feature list that we have, but to show the breadth of ReleaseOwl that we have, right? Or what we support. For S/4HANA and ECC, we handle the transports, automation, retrofits, conflict resolution, BSP and Fury deployments, and integrations with your ATC, Code Inspector, and GCTS that we have inbuilt in our solution. In the B2B, we provide the continuous delivery pipelines for your MTAR, your CAP, your RAP applications, and along with your ABAP Cloud deployments. We also embedded a security scanner that checks for your malware at real time. From the integration suite point, ReleaseOwl automates the packaging and deployments, generates regression tests automatically, and enforces security rules. We offer backup and rollback, and deployments are safer and reversible when it comes to the rollback. On the Analytics Cloud, the SAP Analytics Cloud, we are a solution which streamlines the packaging and deployment with your versioning and downgrade protection that we come with for your SSC, and ensuring every rollout that is auditable and consistent. Now, as we talk on areas, we are not just the tool that works with SAP, but we integrate with different enterprises like your Jira, ServiceNow, Azure DOS, Service, Tosca, UiPath, and few others. We have 40 plus integrations that are available out of the box, which are seamlessly, so that makes ReleaseOwl fit seamlessly into your ecosystem right away from the first day itself. Now, with this, giving you a bigger picture of what ReleaseOwl that we have, today's session is focused on public cloud. And with that, let me hand it over to the funny. So we'll walk us through the SAP public cloud essentials and the best practices that are there for the public cloud. Over to you, Funny.
Yeah, thanks, Rahul. So if you guys have looked into the overall S/4HANA public cloud space, if you are following up that space, I mean, from either as a partner or a customer, you have to understand public cloud is built with this clean core approach. So the idea is public cloud. It has this quick deployment, not only deployment, it's also maintainability and releasability. We have quarterly release cycles, which emphasize that whatever changes that are being done, either by the customer or by the partner, have to be in a clean core significance. Otherwise, this would lead to different issues because of this regular updates from SAP. Just not only the quarterly release cycles, there are monthly updates that can happen on a regular basis from SAP. So for this reason, SAP has provided us a framework when it comes to just not only development, but also kind of integrated their ABAP cloud environment within S/4HANA Public Cloud. What is the overall advantage we get from this kind of approach? Is that we focus more on a on a clean core approach with the framework provided by SAP. So now this framework mostly includes an extension framework along with a three system landscape that is provided. Okay. Now this system landscape provided by SAP has a certain framework which includes development, test and production environments. And this also includes there is something called central business configuration, which is like the central core configuration mechanism that moves to your the whole landscape. All right. Now, if you understand from a perspective of implementation and the development together, for example, when you're looking at it from the perspective of DevOps, all right? Because these extensions are loosely coupled with with SAP. When I say loosely coupled, they are having a very close interaction like what we used to have previously. So, for example, in the previous world of SAP, when we wanted to develop something, we used to tightly integrate that with SAP. All right. Now, with release of public cloud or how the strategy of SAP is going towards, we see that a lot of loosely coupled applications that come into place. Now, when we talk about this loosely coupled extensions, or from that perspective, it becomes very crucial for us, especially to understand overall, how do we integrate these extensions along with your DevOps to your system, right? We have seen a lot of, we have been doing this public cloud implementations from about 3 years now. So what we have seen is a lot of these extensions which the customers are asking, all right, uh, have to be also designed along with your implementation, all right? It is just not, saying that we will do this extension since they are loosely coupled, we should not have any interference. So these things have to be planned. We are looking at right now. We are using different kind of environments, like we use Git actions, we use different kind of SAP CI/CD. So these kind of things are right now, and also bit of Cloud ALM is something what we are using. But again, we have certain challenges which we are seeing this overall whole cycle, especially with SAP transports, because right now SAP has a kind of, they have a mix of customizing and workbench requests. They have new concept software collections, which is basically nothing but of all these requests together into one collection, which needs to be transported between systems. Right? So these are because of this SAP's changing paradigm when it comes to DevOps. That is where we are associating with ReleaseOwl and trying to see where we can plug in their expertise on transport management, and with our experience in public cloud, where we can interface together. So from our side, what we see is this best practices when it comes from SAP, which needs to be integrated with your extensions framework. So, for example, let's say you're creating some extensions or some integrations, they need to flow together, right? And that is where we think our association with ReleaseOwl will help environments which are especially looking at public cloud extensions which are written in BTP plus CPI and SAC. All together is what I see a great synergy towards. I think Rahul, you can take it from here.
Sure. Yep. So thanks for that. So as we can see now, SAP is trying to simplify a few things by moving it to cloud, but also it has few challenges that might need to be addressed, right? So ReleaseOwl, somewhere we have created a platform where just with the help of our solutions, we are now trying to solve these issues and also make these best practices to be enabled with ReleaseOwl. So next slide, please, Tanya. Yeah. So why we need DevOps in SAP Public Cloud? So in SAP Public Cloud, DevOps is not just optional, as we know, it's essential, right? So let me explain why. First, look at the principles that we have. So DevOps is built on the continuous integration and delivery. Shift left testing for faster detection, defect detection, governance as code for compliance, automated code quality, and security embedded in every stage. So this practices that every modern enterprises expect, right? So now when you apply this to a public cloud, you may or you run into a unique set of challenges. Why? Because there are quarterly updates, as you know, that enables us to move changes quarterly, which means you need to test, validate the changes within a fixed window. So we don't have like how it used to be on the on-premise. We used to have some luxury of period where we can extend ourselves. But now, as it's a solution, so upgrades. So we have worked with upgrades. Quarterly upgrades is something that we have to work through, and we have to make sure that whatever the changes that SAP is pushing, we have to be able that our business do not get impacted with this quarterly effect. So we have to be ready with the test and validate every change that is getting into to the higher environment with this particular quarterly update. So deployment must follow strict sequencing to avoid conflicts. So we know, so without having a proper sequencing, it becomes very difficult, because then you might end up in a situation where you might delete your source code in the higher environment. So it becomes very strict for us to move the transport in a proper sequence challenge. So you may need to maintain clean core, as we know public cloud is all about clean core, while still extending the system responsibly, right? So SAP Public Cloud offers less flexibility for customizing, as we know, which makes governance even more important. Right, because as per the clean core principles, we will be stuck to the implementation that we require to a limited period till the SAP provides a solution for that particular piece of code that we want to have it implemented. And all the above, there are always a transition period, as we know, between the speed, compliance, and audit requirements that are required. So this is something that the principles and the challenges that we need to solve it all together, right? So in reality, as I mentioned, for the SAP Public Cloud, DevOps is not nice to have. It's a necessity that becomes now. So exactly this is where the solution lies. So when you combine the Cloud ALM and ReleaseOwl, you get a DevOps model that fits public cloud. So how the public cloud, the cloud ALM provides you the orchestration through your features, your traceabilities, and the approvals that are already available in the cloud ALM. And ReleaseOwl delivers the automation. So pipeline that builds, tests, deploy changes seamlessly. So the automation comes through ReleaseOwl, orchestration comes through your cloud ALM. So together, the solution this solves your challenge that also Fanny mentioned earlier. So you get end-to-end pipeline automation across build, test, and deploy, regression testing and unit testing that are built into workflows from ReleaseOwl, and every change that comes with traceability and audit-ready reporting. So that is available in the cloud ALM right away. So the value here is clear. Cloud ALM orchestrates, ReleaseOwl automates or executes. So together they give you a DevOps that is both compliant and agile in public cloud. So this is where how you can club these two solutions, the Cloud ALM, ReleaseOwl, and solve the bigger issue that we are having as of now. So now let's take a closer look at how this operating model works in practice. Thank you, Tanya. So on the left side, what you're seeing is a Cloud ALM, which is an orchestrator and governance tool for a point of view. And it manages centralized backlog, your features and user story as mentioned. It provides you end-to-end status updates, approvals, so everything is traceable. It handles change orchestration with real-time visibility in progress. Uh, and most importantly, it ensures the traceability across the requirements, the tests, and deployments. Nothing is left within the cloud. So as we can see, the Cloud LM has rich models where you can create all your requirements and test your user stories according to the implementation that we want. And this will be tracked using the Cloud LM and using from the right hand side the ReleaseOwl, which is an automation and execution layer. So through its CI/CD pipeline for public cloud deployment, you can do it. It supports your shift left testing, both your unit and regression testing. So no issues are caught earlier. It enforces governance as code. So applying policies consistently during your deployment is a major key. So it becomes very important during our actual development and practice when we actually try to implement anything on public cloud. So it protects against also the downgrade. So ReleaseOwl is something that will actually check whether there are any downgrade issues and checks whether the sequences are there in a proper order, that your changes are moving in a proper way and you do not have any issues in near future. And it generates automated compliance reports and audit-ready evidence, which is critical in the regulated industry. As we know, this is something, what changes are being moved, we need to track them. And ReleaseOwl is where you can also track all this audit-ready along with your Cloud ALM, where the traceability is already available. And this will have the audit-ready evidence will be an additional advantage where you can get these things ready right away. So, and when we put all this together from the left-hand side, the Cloud ALM plus ReleaseOwl, together from the right-hand side, the together section, you get a complete DevOps for SAP Public Cloud, a unique platform covering planning, build, test, deploy, and monitor. So this everything makes you the changes to move faster, safer, and more compliant. So seamless collaborations will happen between the business and IT team, because we are taking care of all these things from the top to the bottom. And finally, a single source of truth for the DevOps in public cloud. So the message is simple. As mentioned earlier, Cloud ALM orchestrates, release, or executes. Together, they give you a full DevOps operating model in both compliant and agile way. So now that we have looked at the operating model conceptually, let's see in this entire thing what we have just talked on in action in a live demo. Yeah. Okay. So as mentioned in the beginning itself, so we are a SAP BTP solution. That was the first solution that we for the DevOps that we built entire acrossly. And here, what you are seeing is a BTP solution that is sitting in BTP and ready to be used right away. So each customer will be provided with a dedicated tenant as it's a SaaS solution, and then you can start utilizing it for your different requirements. For today's demo, we'll just focus on the public cloud, but the solution is extended to all your ECC, S4, your SAC, DataSphere, and other SAP solutions that we support. So let me just walk you through the left-hand side just before I talk on the section. So this is a dashboard that will help you to understand the high-level deployment that are been happening, or the user story statuses from your Cloud ALM or any other ALM tool that you have integrated. But Talking on the Cloud ALM, so if we focus on the traceability and everything, so the thing is you will start working on your changes from your Cloud ALM perspective. You will create your requirements, you will create your feature user stories, and according to that, you will be also creating your feature requests in Cloud ALM. So what after that? So once you have created all these things, ReleaseOwl will be able to consume these details into its platform, and where you can start working on the changes so that you can attach your changes, move the changes with all the details, like move your changes faster with the help of the CI/CD pipeline that you configure with all the governance and approvals in place. So this is the feature request that has been created for the demo purpose, but as we know, it can be very complex. We might have a number of features or users sitting in the Cloud ALM. So these are the right away feature requests that have been pulled to ReleaseOwl, and now developer can start working on particular changes and start moving the changes right away. So from the Cloud ALM, you start working on the feature request. You can then move your changes from Cloud ALM itself. Once you trigger something from Cloud ALM, then it will start triggering the ReleaseOwl pipeline and move your changes. How this pipeline is getting triggered, and what is pipeline actually? So pipeline is nothing but how you want to deploy these particular changes into a high environment with all the control, approvals, governance, and orchestration in place. So pipeline, where you will be defining your entire flow, how you want to move your changes. And this pipeline, let's walk through a bit high level over here. So you can create your own pipeline where it will help you to move your changes according to your definition, how you want to move your changes. So for an example, we have a QA and prod stages. Stages are nothing but the segregation of your entire flow into sections. And you can use different tasks to actually create your stages. Task is something, we have a number of lists from approvals, call out to your test evidences and validation. So we have a huge list of tasks that you can use to actually create your own workflow. As I mentioned earlier, it's a CI/CD where you can create a pipeline, and this pipeline can be moved, will be used to move your changes. So pipeline, we have a validation task. For our purpose, we'll see how actually the changes will get moved once we actually move something from Cloud ALM and how it triggers the changes in ReleaseOwl. So validation, we will do the validation against the target environment, where it will check whether there are any changes that might degrade your source code. So it will go through a sequencing check, and it will show you ahead before you actually move your changes. So it comes with governance, and also along with it, it will also do your unit testing for the artifacts within the objects that you are trying to move. Then we have a QA deployment, which will do a QA deployment right away within the platform with the transport that has been triggered from the Cloud ALM. Then we have the test evidence task. So test evidence task is something that where you can upload your test documents after your testing. So flow is something when you hand it over to the test in public Cloud ALM, then it will trigger a pipeline, and then this particular flow will trigger, where it will go through your validation, your deployment, and then once everything is done, the team will upload their test cases, or even automatic test cases can be executed from ReleaseOwl. So it depends on how you configure, but it can be more complex depending on how we want to configure our pipeline. Then we have QA test approvals. Once the approval is given, then it will move to next task, and then to the production, and then it will deploy into our production. So this is actually you will be able to move your changes into a higher environment with the pipeline. But in reality, we'll see how the changes actually get triggered, right? So this is a feature request where you will be attaching your transports. Either it can be your user extensibility packages, or your customizing changes, or your workbench changes. It can be anything. So actually, those changes you can see it in the SAP HANA public cloud, where you can sync all your transports, or your workbench transports, your business configurations, and any key user extensibility that you have done can be synced into the ReleaseOwl. And as we have synced it, we'll be able to move your changes once Cloud ALM triggers an activity from itself, and then the pipeline will be triggered. So here we have the transports right away available. This transport will try to move it from the Cloud ALM with the help of ReleaseOwl. So how? We'll see. So here we have a feature request, or the feature request might be on which a developer might be working on. The developer can simply go ahead and attach the transports that are required as a part of this particular feature request, and they will simply attach it. So either they can add it from over here at the screen that we have given, or they can simply go ahead and sync all the users to transports and add it over here. So this way they can add the entire change list for a particular feature that they want to deploy. Now, a feature contains what needs to be done in the high environment, or the requirement is captured in the feature request. ReleaseOwl has that information now. Now, as a part of this information, let's go ahead and see how ReleaseOwl can move these changes into the higher environment from Cloud ALM itself. So let's take the example of what we just saw. Every action that you perform on ReleaseOwl will be captured back into the description over here. So anything that you attach to a feature request will be returned back to your feature request. And from over here itself, you can actually trigger your pipelines. How? So as mentioned earlier, pipeline can be triggered. So there are some webhooks that need to be implemented, and with that webhook, once you click hand it over to the test, then it will trigger a pipeline in ReleaseOwl, and that pipeline, it will pick and move the changes accordingly. So now I have just clicked hand it to the test. So now it has gone to my tenant, and it is now triggering the pipeline that we have just triggered from the ReleaseOwl. So here you can see it has just triggered the pipeline, and I can see the pipeline activity as well. So this is how it has triggered the pipeline, and now it has also done the validation. It has now trying to deploy my changes into the target environment. We have done nothing. It is completely automation, no deployment manual. Just click, hand it to the test, and it will just trigger the pipeline over here. When I go back, as mentioned, every change that is being done in ReleaseOwl or from ReleaseOwl will be returned back to your feature request, so that you have complete auditing or traceability of what is been happening in ReleaseOwl. You don't have to go actually and look into what is happening in ReleaseOwl as well. Just let me give a quick refresh just to get the details added. So here you can see what has been validated. So as we have put a validation task, the validation has been performed, and it has given us a report. So the person who is trying to operate next to the confirm tester, they will have every detail over here. So now let's see whether the deployment is done in the background or not. Yeah. So coming to the deployment, we are successfully deployed with a single hand to the test, and now the testing team can actually start testing their activities. And once the testing is done, they can actually upload the test evidence task, the test details that they have tested during the testing, and upload it to the test evidence task over here. So now the testing is done. The test evidence event will be triggered to the testing team, where they can, once they have tested everything, they can simply come over here and say, okay, I'm done with the testing. Either I want to approve it or reject it. So I can simply go ahead and I can upload any of the test document that I want, associated test document for an example, and I can say upload. So once the document is uploaded, then only the pipeline will allow you to approve it or reject it based on the situation. So I can approve it, and once the approval is done, it will go to the next task, waiting for the team to actually approve it. So I have uploaded my test document. The testing team, or before actually I move my changes to the production, the team will go through all the evidences that the team has provided, and they can simply approve this. And also see all the violation reports and the attachment that we have made for this particular test. So this was a document that we have attached in our previous test evidence task, and you can also see. And also the violation report that was formed earlier. So here you can see the violation. As there is no validation error here, it is showing a success. But in case we have some downgrade issue, then there will be an additional tab where you will be able to see the issue that I will also show you in a moment. So let's say that I'm okay with every document or the testing is okay. So here the team is now have a traceability, whatever the changes are happening, have a complete control on the changes that are getting moved. And now with a simple click, it will try to move the changes to the next environment. But as I have added a wait for promotion tag, it is waiting for someone to actually confirm it. How now I can port my changes to the production? So here, once I say, hey, let me just quickly refresh it, then I will get all the details that I have done in release out will be added to your description task over here in the feature. So just looking at the feature description or the task activity that we have added, you can now right away go and say, okay, I'm okay with this change. Now confirm the test cases uh, over here in Cloud ALM. Then automatically it will trigger the pipeline to move my changes to the production. So here you can see all the details that I have done, or all the activities that I have performed are now quickly available for you in over here. As of now, this is for limited to the description, but it will be enhanced to the comment section going forward as we are working with the Cloud ALM team as well to add a comment section to the feature where we'll be adding these details over there going forward. Now, once I'm okay, all these details okay, I have a test approval approved by myself, but this will be someone actually in a real time. So let me just confirm test successfully. That means I'm okay to move my changes ahead, approve the production, and that's it. This is all that I have to do, and it will trigger my pipeline right away to the production. It was earlier waiting at the car. Now it is all the stages are complete, and it is now triggered my call out as well. So we have a rich task list, as I mentioned, one of it which can trigger an external system. So here it has also triggered a service now where it will get a change request. And once the change request is approved, let's assume that we have approved. And once all the data, you can have it over here, you can simply go ahead and approve it, depending on the change request happened. So user can also see all the details that they have been uploaded. So I will take a happy path for now and say approve this particular change, assuming that the board has already approved my change request. Now, once it is done, my changes are now pushed to the production and it has already deployed my changes. So this is how seamlessly Cloud ALM can become your source of change, and ReleaseOwl can become your source of deployment. So everything can work seamlessly. You can make your changes from create a feature request from Cloud ALM and deploy your changes from ReleaseOwl. So automations come from ReleaseOwl, and the orchestration process comes from the Cloud ALM. So this is overall high level demo, but it has more capabilities in it, which we can have. We can see somewhere in other demos as well. Yeah. So and this is what I would like to show you in demo. Tanya, I think you can share your screen now. Thank you. So what business value that adds with this? As you have seen how seamlessly it integrates with your Cloud ALM, and not just Cloud ALM, but any other ALM tools. It can become the orchestrator from ReleaseOwl itself. You can deploy your changes seamlessly. So the value of this model is straightforward, and it's something customer immediately relates to. As you have seen how seamlessly you are able to deploy it and how fast we are able to move our changes, right? Because automation definitely removes your entire manual steps and changes moves quickly through dev, test, and prod. And second, the failure rates drops, and smaller incremental changes combined with automation and governance reduces the risk of error. Yeah, there are some Q&As before. Okay, let me just take that in the end. Okay, so the third, that is the faster recovery. As you can see, if something goes wrong with agile and DevOps practices, you can push your corrective changes almost immediately instead of waiting days or weeks, as we used to do it before in the legacies. And finally, this naturally leads to your cost saving and a quicker ROI on the tools that you have implemented. So lesser rework, fewer failure rates, and faster delivery, all translating directly to a business impact. The key takeaway here is DevOps with Cloud ALM and ReleaseOwl isn't just about technology. It's about enabling safer, faster, and more cost-effective outcomes for your SAP public cloud. All right. So to this will definitely give you advantage when you try to implement such solution in the organization. To help organization take next steps, we offer a 2 weeks pilot program where we map your backlogs, set up pipelines, and roll back your changes with your team. It's the fastest way to validate this model in your own environment, by the way. And with that, I would like to thank you all for joining today. And we would love to be open the floor for any questions that you have it now, team. So I see that there's a question. Okay, does this work for HANA Private Cloud? Yes, the answer is it works for your SAP HANA Private Cloud, whether it is in your RISE or in your own solution, AWS or anywhere. It works with your private cloud as well. Yeah. So do you have any more questions on how we operate, what is the solution, and what it does support? No. Specifically, when we talk that whether it is complementing or it is not completely overlapping. So as we mentioned, ReleaseOwl is a deployment tool. It works on the CI/CD principles, and Cloud ALM itself is an ALM tool where it will manage all your application lifecycle management from starting your implementation point of view, right? So when you club these two tools, it will become a complete DevOps that we want to have it in place. Yeah. Yep.
So
So
Rahul, I will go ahead and ask that one question I have. All
yeah,
right, if you're okay with it. All right. So what I was just trying to ask you is, I mean, I think I'll just add to this question how Cloud ALM, I mean, where release of complements Cloud
mm,
ALM. Can you just give a basic definition of what is possible in Cloud ALM right now, and where ReleaseOwl is complementing?
yeah. So specifically talking on the public cloud. So as you see, there are many solutions that are available out of the in the SAP ecosystem, right? So not every solution is rightly supported right now, and we are the only tool which have the capability to support your major deployment activities that can be taken care for different SAP landscapes that has in the SAP ecosystem. So as we are talking on the complementing part, as I mentioned, SAP is not Cloud ALM is not just a deployment tool where it focuses on a bigger picture from the project point of view or from the implementation point of view. And ReleaseOwl is something from the point you can consider from the CI/CD point or DevOps point. It is something that is sitting just below the Cloud ALM and not besides the Cloud ALM. So it has the major uh, integrations like your Lean INX, your other tools that can be integrated. So that are part of ReleaseOwl. ReleaseOwl majorly focuses on the deployments and the DevOps part of your SAP system, which is completely out of Cloud ALM. And that is not how we are. Yeah, and in that way, we are not actually overlapping with each other. Funny.
So, for example, let's say I have a CPI flow, iFlow, and also have certain changes to my CDS views, or I create something in public cloud. They can be merged together into one feature request in ReleaseOwl and be transported on both sides, right? Is that available right now?
Yes, yes. We have a solution called Multiverse actually. So Multiverse, how it works is, so you can have a single change request, and within that particular change request, you can include different artifacts like your transports, your iflows, or even it can be a cap mtar cap, right? So you can attach them, and you can use a single pipeline which can intelligently detect which change is coming and which environment I want to push it into. So it has capability. So you can define the pipeline in such a way that it can move your changes seamlessly into the respective system depending on the changes that are coming. So we have that feature. We call it as multiverse.
Excellent. And I think we have one more question in the chat. Question in the chat.
Yes. So is ReleaseOwl certified and secure for enterprise deployment? Yes, we are SAP certified and are also available on SAP Store, and we are also ISO certified by 27701. So we are completely secure for any enterprise deployments over here.
And the beauty of this application we have is this is built on top of BTP. So
Yes.
it follows all the principles when it comes to these cloud applications which are running on top of BTP. So the security aspects or the infrastructure aspects are all taken care by SAP BTP itself.
Yes, absolutely. So we don't have to worry about any infrastructure that needs to be run on your servers because it's a SaaS solution. Just plug and play.
Yeah. It's just a SaaS solution running on top of SAP BTP, and that will take care of most of these issues when it comes to security aspects, and most of the code vulnerabilities or anything is taken care by the SAP BTP platform, right?
Yes, yes. So it's seamless, no upgrades. Upgrades will be taken by the user platform itself. Like how Cloud ALM is working, in the same fashion, we will be also working over here. Okay, there's one more question I see. Public cloud upgrades are mandatory every quarter. How do we manage regression testing in such short windows? Do you want to take, sir?
Yeah, sure. I'll take that. Yes, public cloud upgrades are mandatory. They are not quarterly, but they are half yearly. There is a release in February and there is a release in August. All right. But there are a regular monthly upgrades which happen on the fly. All right. So there are two major upgrades, one in February and August. SAP has provided certain testing frameworks which can be merged with your Cloud ALM environment. And I mean, Rahul, I'm not sure whether we are doing that, but in integration with Cloud ALM, with ReleaseOwl, but there are some integration scripts that are provided called PUTs or post upgrade tests, which normally happen on Cloud ALM. We can integrate this Cloud ALM test directly to your SAP instance. or you can directly run it within SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud also. And you can take these results. There is the upgrade. Normally, what happens is the upgrade happens on the dev and QA system before, and then I mean, we can run this PUT test, post upgrade test, and we can run this, and we can discuss this report with SAP on a continuous basis. If there are any issues which you see, we can report this to SAP, and SAP will normally fix for the production upgrade.
Definitely, sir. That is something definitely is achievable. As I mentioned in the beginning, we have 40 plus integrations available. So one of which we can also integrate with this test scripts and execute the test scripts and get the results out of it. So it's completely possible in release. So
I'm just
as
speaking
I
from a
mentioned,
public cloud perspective, but I think Rahul can add ReleaseOwl's perspective also. Okay.
yeah. So the thing is, as quarterly updates by majorly by automating early and keeping integration test ready, as this is something will be something that we do from the releases that we have to do. Cloud ALM manages test orchestration as Funny mentioned. Right? With ReleaseOwl can trigger the test regression test cycles as part of pipeline. So that way, customer can always be prepared the quarterly upgrade. So as I mentioned earlier, we are not just the top tool. We are trying to keep move the left side, shift left side, so that we have everything from your regression testing and unit testing done ahead, and you don't you will not be having any future issues with this particular changes that you are trying to move it to the higher environment. So we are doing it ahead in the front pipeline itself, and you will be able to move the changes with ease and with comfort, with all the changes tested, track, and move to the higher environment. Yeah. Justin. So okay, any more questions on release of Cloud ALM or public cloud? We are happy to hear from you, and we are available, Tanya. Maybe.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your participation in the webinar. We still do have a few minutes left. If anyone has any last couple of questions, maybe one more, we can take that. If not, we are just about on time to wrap up. So, yeah, I think we have answered all the questions there are so far. Yeah, if in case you have any other questions after the webinar, please feel free to reach out to us. You have our website up on the screen right now and our email address as well that you can contact us through, or you can contact us through our website. The contact form is available there as well. And we'll be very happy to help you. Also, there will be a survey right after this webinar that will pop up on your screen. So if possible, please do fill out the survey as well. Thanks so much. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Funny, for your time. Thanks, everybody, for attending. It's been a really insightful session, I'm sure, for everyone. And I think we can wrap up now.
All right. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Funny.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye. Have a nice day.